get most sugar? Actually, starch, carbohydrate. Then we have more from starch source, but some from added sugar, sucrose. For us, the reason we decided to do F21 first because starch is not toxic, but sucrose is toxic. Because when we talk about evolution, our body, through these years, our body evolved to today's stage, especially poor Pacific Islanders. When we look at their original diet, there's not much added sugar in there. Now they're exposed to those fast food and all those sugar-rich food because this food industry want to make food tastier so you can get hooked on. Mm-hmm. And they put a lot of sugar in there. And their body will not recognize the sugar. So it's all stored, cause a lot of problems. We can probably go a little, when we talk about the product, I can go a little bit deeper on why, sugar, we need to block them. Okay, then we talk about sugar problems. If that's a sugar problem, it's still not, the main causes for today's problems. So we're talking about, do we want to also help people to try to protect ourselves from getting toxins? Whatever we eat, we drink, we breathe in, and even we touch, we always get those chemicals, and that will build up in the system. Lucky enough, in our body, we have liver and kidneys. And of course, through sweat, we can get rid of those. But mainly inside our body, we have liver and kidneys. But the problem is, once you get that much, and all this new kind of chemicals in the system, our organs may not be these, vital organs may not be able to really recognize them. So either they stay in the system, cause inflammation, cause other problems, or they be wrapped up and stored away in the fat cells for future, treatment. So we know our body needs help. So we decided to use, instead of use chemicals or other ways to deplete the system, we developed this product, has two blends in there. First of all, we help our body to strengthen our vital organs' ability, our liver, our kidneys, to process that. Of course, heart also is very important because heart will pump all the nutrient, oxygen into cells, and when it's done, the metabolism process, and then our heart will also put enough pressure to get all these blood to be recycled, going through kidney, going through liver. So heart is also a very important organ. So our tea, Connie tea, will have two blends. Nourishment blend will help our body to increase our own natural ability to process those toxins. And on the other hand, for those unknown or too much for us to process, in that the cleansing blend will have a lot of phytochemicals to be able to participate in that process to get those toxins out of the system. And then more and more, from last decade, we talked so much about free radicals. Our body needs free radicals for our immune system for a lot of purposes, but our body do not need oxygen-free radicals. Oxygen-free radicals, they come from even the regular, the metabolism process. Okay, and our body not even getting those from those biological processes, but also from the mental stress can also cause that. And now a lot of kids, they play, the video games. They watch a lot of, expose them, stay on the computer all the time. The electromagnetic field also will increase. And I just travel, from the United States here, sitting in an airplane, the cosmic ray will cause, a lot of free radicals. And we know free radicals are those compounds or molecules, their outer layer lost 1 or 2 electrons. And these guys, because they go through the oxidative, the status, the process, they become very, very aggressive. They want to grab those electrons they lost from some other compounds or from other molecules. So once they attack the normally balanced molecules and grab electrons from them, these guys become free radicals. Let's call it chain reaction. The problem is, once they get in the way, they'll attack in the mitochondria, for example, they'll attack genes, cause genetic problems. And if they have so much, our body cannot take care of them, our body will naturally produce SOD and the catalase, try to get these guys neutralized. If there's too much, then they'll escape from the watery condition, go to liquid condition, to attack our membrane of the cell, and it causes cells to die. So that's the problem we're facing now. Now let's go back. For us, as our mission, we try to see if we can use these natural or all natural. I want to say also, I want to use the word organic. Okay. Even though nowadays nobody can really certify the process of organic, I still like to say that because we do not use, for our products, there's no need for pesticide or chemicals there to help them grow better. So we try to use this all natural product from organic way to help our body or to protect ourselves, from those problems, from sugar problems, from toxic problems, or chemical problems, and from free radical, oxygen free radical problems. That's what we develop all these products. At the same time, in order, since we're in this network marketing business, in this industry, we have to find a way to work with our distributors, our leaders, so we can have satisfied or at least happy business builders to work with us. So we have to come up with a very competitive and easy to use, relatively easy to use compensation plan. So we studied all the comp plans. We went through all this, even we knew, binary at that time was a big thing. But when we look at all those, the problems binary system, bring naturally, we decided to develop this compensation plan. You can probably see now we have one side, we want to help everybody to get started easier. So we have this fast start part. Okay, and fast start part, when the fast period is over, then move to, we call it general commission side. We have uni level. Now we get to A levels. Okay, and then after that we have, now people like to use the word generation. So we have generation bonus. Our generation bonus is different than others. And after that, we put a lot of extra points into pools. So when we have this, of course, we just get the latest version, just enhanced. So you'll see with our plan, if you do not know how to really build your organization, if you just know the product works, and once you have good products, you always have return business, and then you know the comp plan can help you to get business started because we pay for your effort, and then you take advantage of that. Even though you're not really experienced to get your legs established, you can still, with one leg, you can go all the way to front double diamond. After that, you do need separate legs. So with one leg or two legs or multiple legs, it's up to you. But after that, sky's the limit. And also with our plan, it doesn't matter when you join. It doesn't matter who, how many upline sponsors in the organization on top of you. You can start right there just like everybody else. So that's the comp plan we like to use and we like to introduce. And once we get that all designed and we decide to own our own software. So instead of contracting somebody else to do those software, we have our own in-house programmers. We work with some companies, but we own all the source code. Once they get everything done, they send it back to us. We run our own servers. And then we're now trying to push everything to cloud. So it's not just a one physical location or even redundant servers. We're now in the clouds just everywhere, anywhere you go, virtually. So that's what we have done. But now, before we launch the company, we're going to launch the company next month. And I really would like to invite you all to come on cruise with us. We're going to introduce a hardware that will be a little different than other companies now. The hardware, it's just like a pad, a tablet computer. I don't know if you've seen the new HP advertisement. It's a little HP tab, like an iPad, a pad, and a keyboard. It says 100% tablet, 100% keyboard, 100% computer, 100% everything. Now we're going to have all these. So we'll have our 100% Ludaxx. We're going to preload all the program onto that piece of hardware, and you can take it with you. And we got the newest display. Okay. And with that, you got very, very bright display with a 10 fingers touchable control. Okay. And then with that piece of hardware, you can use existing 16 gig memory plus you can put one microchip, micro SD card there to increase that to 32 gig. And that will be able to hold all the information. You can put a lot of movies on that still, And you can use that do one-on-one. Just, like you can work, put up, do just one-on-one meeting, or we have USB connection. And you can also, plug HDMI to that tab and the Ludaxx and connect to any HDMI device, like like the projector or in a big screen TV, and you can work on your own pad and it just shows on the big screen. So that will make that piece of tool will make everything easier for our leaders. So our company now is small. We have not even launched yet, but we got all the departments and we got all the human resources there to help our field leaders to grow. So we are now based in the U.S., but we're growing into different countries. But our principle for international expansion is we grow legally, ethically, and also practically. So, for example, for this market, legally we can do not for resale, NFR, but we start the process to work with Australian government. And we know, I'm sorry for all the shipping problems. This time I had to hand carry 2 orders because we got a problem there. I'm lucky enough I didn't get stopped. Otherwise, Gary probably can tell you how much trouble we had with that. But we want to do things right. And Frank offered help, I think, Frank, for that. We can make it easier. We can probably, first of all, we can do, before we fully registered and approved by the Australian authorities, we like to set up our operation in New Zealand because the very special, the relationship between these 2 countries, Australia and New Zealand. We can do a lot of things there, right? And then we can get ourselves established. And then we're moving into other different countries too. So we are expanding, even we're not officially launched yet. When we talk about the direction where we want to take the company to, I like to tell you, first of all, we like to go a little further on the sugar product. We have, after this is sucrose product, then we will have, generally speaking, carbohydrate. We're going to tackle that. We can make that manageable, but not just merely just simply block. If you just block all the carbohydrate intake, you're going to be in trouble because we do need sugar. So we have not filed a patent application yet, so I'm not allowed to talk too much about that. But one thing I can say here is we'll manage starch intake, so you don't have to worry about your diet that too much of that. At the same time, you have guaranteed energy supply from your diet. And then after that, we wanted the third product also will be patented. The third product will eventually try to get rid of all the sugar problems. So that's one direction we want to go. And then for the toxin problems, continuity, if we ever need, there's one more, but we'll be targeting on specifically cardiovascular system. Okay, we'll get stuff out of that. And the free radical for pearl, we want to stay with pearl because we've seen a lot of result. Just last week, we had a lady in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. She came to me and she told me her own story. She didn't have to use wheelchair anymore, and she got other conditions corrected because our pearl helped her. So that's something we like to make sure that are still getting better and better, but we want to add one more product to give us energy. You probably know that we usually get energy from those protein products, but protein itself costs energy to process. So we'll find a way to get that problem taken care of. So that's what, a lot of times I can say it because my attorney, I'm myself attorney, but I have an attorney behind me. So he always tells me, you know, don't say too much till I file the application. So, but you know, for this, we're going to be a company that will go worldwide, because I know for sure a lot of people will like our product. Okay, at the same time, our comp plan basically will help a lot of people to be able to do their business. So when you look at our slogan, we want to do, we want to make everything natural, right? But we like to create balance. Once you have balance, reach the balance, then you get the ultimate, you know, status for our life. And then we'll have harmony. We have to have harmony, not just in our body, but you know, the relationship, everything. We have to have that. And then we can bring success in both ways, health and wealth. So that's what, you know, we really like to make sure that with our efforts and we work together as a family, we can really help a lot of people. At the same time, we'll help ourselves to be successful in health and wealth. So, thank you.
About 5 years ago, I spent a little bit of time in Dubai in the UAE, and I was speaking to a few medical people, and I was quite surprised, but the UAE actually has the highest amount of diabetics per head of population of any country in the world. It's basically one to one. I couldn't work out why, because the food that I saw at the meeting was a lot healthier than Australia and America, but that's what they told me, that 50% basically are diabetic in UAE.
Yeah, diabetes is a big problem. But my dream, and I think we can make it happen, is once we introduce our product, you know, sugar side, nobody should ever worry about sugar problem. Because when we eat sugar, we need sugar, we use sugar. But then, at the same time, sugar, in order for sugar to go to the cells, at the cell, go to the cell to work, we need insulin. You know, because insulin receptor will be the ones to get sugar through the glucose transport to get into the cells to work. Okay. If we don't have, or if we have a problem producing insulin, then that part will be, you know, be limited. And after that, if we eat a lot of glucose or sugar, you know, and that turn to be glucose, and then that will cause our pancreas to get tired. Once pancreas is tired, and then those beta cells in pancreas will not be able to produce insulin in time. We call it insulin resistant. So when we need, after we try to send all the glucose to our cells, but still have a whole bunch, you know, left because we eat so much sugar, whole bunch in our blood, insulin is supposed to come in to group them up, to store them away for later use. Since we, you know, we developed insulin resistance, because we eat too much sugar, cause pancreas to overburden, and pancreas will not send insulin out in time, then we got a problem. Those sugars stays in the blood, the glucose. But glucose, when it go down to the kidneys, in our kidneys, there's two glucose transporters will pick them up, reabsorb them, and then cause all kind of problems. Because now you got glucose on this side, supposed to be filtered, right? Supposed to be but now we got too much glucose on this side, cause blindness, cause the problems of ulcers, limbs, and it cause plaques, cause this and that, all those about diabetic problems. So because we change the diet, or because food industry made us change the diet, we're getting to all the sugar problems. But once you have that, you got to think, first of all, if we can block some sugar, toxic ones, like we're doing with F21, then the glucose will not go into the system, cause our blood sugar level to raise. On the other hand, the fructose from sucrose will also be blocked. So fructose will not go to make a visceral fat in our system to cause further problems. And then the sucrose got blocked will keep in the digestive system. We're blocking sugar from getting into our blood circulatory system. Okay, so sucrose, since it's not processed, that's why I'm quite sure you already understand why. Once it gets blocked and it stays in the digestive system, it travels from small intestine to large intestine, where we make them something good for us. We make them prebiotic. Okay. I had one question: why sucrose? Is there any research shows sucrose can become prebiotic to feed probiotics? I want everyone to remember one thing. The term prebiotic basically is based on indigestible sugar, or we call it dietary fiber. I hope I'm not confusing you. Okay, sugar is actually dietary fiber. If our body cannot use it, go down to large intestine, in that area, any indigestible sugar from 2 to 10 saccharide, we call it oligosaccharides. These are all prebiotic. Sucrose has got a 2, it's a disaccharide, so it's part of that. So that shows why we can turn this potentially harmful sucrose into actually something helpful for our body. If we have probiotics, we get that from birth, from our mother. Okay, so you got that in the system. But when you age, and with our lifestyle change, or chemicals, or worst of all, those pharmaceutical products like antibiotics, killed. So if you don't have enough probiotics there, you will not be able to reach the symbiotic level. Symbiotic level is balanced. Now the best way to do it, probiotics, is given in our system. It's hard for you really to get that from a food source. Even though you got a whole bunch of, like a yogurt, those kind of products, it shows probiotics there, But once you get to our stomach, those bacteria in our stomach acidity in the stomach is 0.5 to 1.5, so very, very acid. All those will be killed. So even though I just ate a lot of, probiotics. It doesn't mean that you're going to have probiotics go down to your lungs, etc. That's where one probiotics work. So the best way to do it is to feed them. So when you do a little Google search, you can see prebiotics plus probiotics equals to symbiotic. That's when you get your colon health reestablished. Once you have that back, then your immune system will work better, your digestive system will work better, and you will have less